Morning, Freedom Family. Well, the shit has hit the fan in Congress. Senator Rand Paul has stated that he is going to file a criminal complaint with Congress about Dr. Fauci lying. He has the evidence in the papers to prove that the NIH funded the Wuhan lab or funded something to do with the lab for them to take these viruses that are transmissible between animals to make them more transmissible from animals to humans, and then from human to human. Uh, he gave Fauci a chance to backpedal. Fauci didn't take the chance to backpedal because by doing so would have been him admitting that he's lying. So he fucking doubled down. This is going to be interesting. And what's really going to be interesting about it is now that we have the new D variant, how's this going to play into this? If you have Dr. Fauci facing criminal, I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that works. If you file a criminal complaint about somebody lying to Congress, is the country still going to believe this dude if it's proven that he openly lied to everybody and knew that he was lying? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, and I applaud Rand Paul for doing it, 100%, man. I don't, I don't think that Rand Paul does what he could do. I think he knows more than he puts out there for whatever reason. But more power to him on this one. Um, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. And if it comes out that he did lie, how's this going to play into the administration? What they push, what they're trying to push. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Hopefully, it derails the unvax pandemic, because it's no longer a pandemic. It's a pandemic of the unvaccinated. There was an article out yesterday. I posted it in Patreon. Go check it out. It's free. Donate if you want to. Don't if you don't want to. It's up to you. I don't keep none of the money. It goes to people in the community that need help with something. But go check out the article. It talks about the possibility of mandatory vaccination. What does that mean? Oh, that means you do it, or they come make you do it. People with guns from government come make you do it. Um, people. It blows my mind that people still don't see it. That what the police actually are. They're the enforcement arm of government, which the people never allowed for. Our founders set up a very specific way that we were supposed to self-govern. That way, everyone was equal. And people passed the responsibilities off to government and kept doing it, and here we are now, where you are free to do as you are told, or else. And that's how you're governed, by or else. I know I've said it before, people. I've been to prison. I'm not proud of it. It's behind me, whatever. But when I walk out of my home in the morning, it's no different than being on the yard. It's no different than walking out of C2 at CRC, or I-Dorm at Lancaster, or D2 at London. I couldn't see the fence there either. But I was still in prison in all those places. You've been sold a lie. We all have. And it's hard to accept that it's been a lie, but it is. They've refined this time. They tried it, it failed. They tried it, it failed. They tried it, it failed. And each time they refined it. And if it goes through this time, if it makes it past the generation of men, just like I said last night, if it makes it past this generation of men, it's game over. There's no more even having an illusion of freedom. You will own nothing and be happy, right? You just heard last week that it was the first week of the New World Order. Crazy shit. I know I got off topic here. It's supposed to be about Rand Paul, but hopefully people will open their eyes, man, and See what's coming down the road and see who's going to force this on you. If government mandated vaccinations today and they were going to force it upon you, who would apply that force? It won't be the politicians. I know that they're the ones that make those decisions, but who makes the decision to follow through with that for a paycheck? Hopefully people are opening their eyes to what the real problems are in this country. Could it be saved? It could be. The problem is that people are stupid. And I mean, I hate saying that, but it's the truth. People are stupid. They cannot think for themselves. They have to be told what to think. And if they're not told what to think, it's automatically wrong. And the truth is that you're not wrong. If you tell them the truth, they are just so caught up in the lie they can't see outside of it. They believe that they're actually free, that there's no fence over the hill. You know, I know there might not be a fence within 100 miles of you, but I assure you, there's a fence. There's a reason why you can't build a home on there's a reason why you can't buy property and it's just yours. You have to pay the king's ransom to keep it, or some man with a badge and a gun will come take you off of your land. There's a reason why you had to be permitted to build a home on the land that you purchased. And if you don't get that permit, a man with a gun will come take you off of your land, and they will take your land and what home you've built. I mean, like, people need to quit buying into this bullshit that as people who live in this country, we have a duty to pay fucking taxes and get permits and follow unjust laws and all this other bullshit and listen to the police. You're not free if government has authority over you, people. And when it comes to this, but see, so many people have bought into it that our government knows if it mandated vaccinations mandatory, it would get it off because so many fucking people buy into government has the authority to do this and government has the authority to do that. When government has the authority to do nothing really that affects the people, not in a negative manner anywhere, not that restricts the people or forces the people to do anything. Our government had a very specific role. It was about that big. Now it's so big you can't even talk about the entire thing in one conversation. It takes weeks and weeks and weeks of conversation in order just to get people to try to understand the totality of the lie. But it'll be interesting nonetheless. I think it came at a really weird time though, especially with them talking about mandatory vaccinations. And we talked about this last year that, you know, when they were saying, oh, vaccinations will never be mandatory. And I said, oh, yeah, well, as soon as people decide not to do it, and then something else comes along, they're going to say, oh, it's the unvaxxed that caused the problem. And I still stick with my statement from last night. Go look up the FLUE diagnoses from last year and how much they went down. Check the CDC. Went down by 98%. Now, people's going to have their excuses. Oh, it's because we were social distancing. Well, I mean, that didn't help with the C virus. It's because we wore masks. Well, that didn't help with the C virus. Or maybe, and now you have this new variant the following year, and now you need a new vax for it. Imagine that. What other thing does the same thing? So my hypothesis is that there was this thing, and they're like, hey, I know how we can get some more control of these people. Let's say this thing just came into existence, and they would forget about that old thing, right? And we'll just tell them that it's this new thing, but really it's just the old thing. And then we'll scare the fuck out of them with the media. We'll force them into lockdowns because they fear what's going on. And then when people start figuring it out, and it'll be about a year from then, and when we'll tell them that there's this new variant, which really is just the annual, that thing that we said no longer exists. Well, we don't even talk about that thing anymore. That's what we'll do. We just won't even talk about it no more. Let's act like it doesn't exist. Go look at the annual expected death rates, rise in death rates in this country. This country's death rates rise annually by about 3,000 because of population growth. I know that kind of doesn't make sense, but because of population growth, more people die every day. Every day more people are born, therefore every day more people die. on a longer timeline. So the same person ain't born today that are all going to die today. No, but as the country grew, more people were born each day then, and they are now dying. About 3,000 a day. Guess how much it went up last year? Just under 5,000. Not much. So we're really right on track. But we're also right on track to be completely controlled like every other country in this world is. I mean, every other nation in this world, the people are not free. And they believe that we are free because the illusion is has been perfected. I mean, even look back at King George and Britain in the colonies. They sold them the illusion of freedom. Y'all can go over here and you can have governors that govern these colonies and continental congresses and whatever, and you're free to do what you want as long as you pay the king's ransom and do what the king says. Look how that turned out. But as long as people respect the Thin Blue Noose Gang, the people who just want to be left alone and free, it won't happen. We'll be hunted down. And I really don't think that it's going that far away. I think it's closer than what people believe it is. And there's no running from it. And one day you're going to have to face it. So you have two options. Face it alone with your family. So me and my wife face it together when they come to get me. Probably get her too. Or have a community of people who can stand up for each other and say, we're not allowing that to happen. These people just want to live their life, and they're going to live their life. And if we all have to die in order to try to keep you from forcing yourself upon them or forcing your will upon them, we will. The spirit of liberty has just been lost in this country. People don't know what it is. And it's because of fear. We all fear. We all have fear, even me. I don't fear jail. I don't fear death. I fear what happens to my family when those things happen. I know the hardships that would be put on my wife if those things were to happen. Nonetheless, it's still fear that's been imposed on me by government. Like I don't bother anybody. I don't even do anything that would be considered illegal. And it's not because of what they say. I just don't do it. If I wanted to, I would. And words on paper wouldn't matter. That shit. Once my son died, all that shit went out the window. I realized just how dangerous. Complaining about things are one thing. When it affects your family, it's something completely different. And you have these politicians creating laws over a society that is supposed to self-govern. It's not how it works. But just keep your head up, man. Stay safe. And good luck to everybody. You're going to need it.